kind of things that should inform our sense of, response, such that we have a healthy, healthy point of view, healthy perception. It is only at that point that we can go, equal to young people globally, and we can begin to command the respect and begin to address. And to end that, my last statement would.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're running out of time, we just want Billy also to just back on what you are saying. But I want you to just, I want Mr. Billy, because you see, Africa needs a set of solution seeker and solver like you and I. And do we agree that we want a competitive, do we need us African to be competitive in a global economy? If you say yes, what do you think? And what the strategy to take on that?
Thank you, and I hope you can hear me now.
Yeah,
you can hear me now.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the organizers. I think I agree with you that we need to take global solutions and bring them into our African context. And I think a lot of speakers have been about how we do that, but I want to focus on a few points about bringing this to the ground and making it pragmatic, because I think it's good to talk about all these solutions. For me, it's about how it hits and make an impact on a grassroots level. And for me, it's about 4 points that we need to do in terms of that. I think first of all, we need to have the overall policy strategies, frameworks at an AU level, at a national level. But number two, I think we need to empower the communities that these things have to happen at. In particular, we need to look at public-private partnerships and make sure that in the public sector and in the private sector, we collaborate. And there are many examples of that on the continent. So I'm not going to elaborate too much on that in the interest of time. I think number three, we need to move from talk to progress. In particular, how do we start in the small pockets that we can influence, start influencing, doing things, and really doing action, because I think the African narrative has been about talking and talking instead of doing and doing. So for me, it's about action within the communities we are, within the partnerships we can form, and within the framework that we have. So for me, that's number three. And I think number four and last is about how do we leverage the connectedness that we've got. We were talking about AI a bit earlier. How to leverage that, the fact that we can have 50 Africans connect this evening talking about problems of Africa. We all come from different backgrounds. So for me, it's about how do we use this type of network and the other networks that we all coexist to make an impact. I think by putting those four things together, we are able then to take action and move forward.
Before you go, let me just ask you this question quickly.
Yes.
You're talking about action, you're talking about how you're able to work towards those things. So how do you want us, or how immediately do you want us to work towards those action points and actually build some of those framework you talked about?
Yeah, so I think the first thing we need to do is to choose one or two, maybe three themes that we are passionate about that we want to make a difference in. So let's use education. So if we say we as the group that are here on this call, education is going to be a theme we're going to make an impact on, we all sign up. It could be education, it could be water access, it could be electricity, distributed energy, whatever we choose. So let's choose theme. Let's pick education. So if we say education is the theme that we're going to work on, then we can look at the best practices around the continent. So our best practice, I'm involved in South Africa in education, for example. School leadership is something that I'm passionate about. And it's something that we are working with the schools in South Africa to develop, train the school leadership and make them better. So how do we scale that up across the continent? And the reason we think school leadership is a catalyst is because research has shown that schools with good principles are able then to do all the things that we're talking about in education. They're able to bring in the technology, they're able to bring in resources, they're able to bring in the right money, they're able to collaborate. So then those best practices can be shared. I'm just using that as an example. It could be other forms and a lot of other good things people are doing in Africa that we can share as a theme and say, guys, 10 countries, let's share these 10 best practices and impact them